heart of Africa, where farming is not just a job but a lifeline, a quiet crisis is unraveling. It keeps becoming loud, it is televised, it is deeply felt in every empty pen, in every half-fed animal, in every farmer's weary sigh at the end of the day. The value of an animal feed holds more than just grains and nutrients. It carries the weight of survival, the hope of harvest, and the dreams of generations. But with every price hike, every unavailable ingredient, and every failed crop due to climate change, those dreams are fading. Over 70% of the total cost of livestock production is spent on feed. The land keeps groaning under the pressure of rising costs, imported ingredients, unsustainable systems, and outdated practices. Farmers keep fighting to keep their livelihoods alive. In the past 3 years alone in Nigeria, more than 40% of small-scale livestock farmers have shut down operations. Victims of rising costs, inconsistent supply chains, and lack of affordable alternatives. Nigeria imports up to 50% of her food, including protein-rich feed ingredients, mostly fish meal, making us vulnerable to global market shocks and climate events. This is a serious call for a solution. In Nigeria, the story of Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd emerges. The story of feeding Africa's future through science, sustainability, and technology.
We started with one pertinent question. What if we could re-engineer the very foundation of livestock nutrition and transform Africa's agricultural system through research, sustainability, and technology? Today, this value proposition is realistic. We created it in 3 transformative projects. The first is our IntelliFly 360 project. This is our BSF conversion project, which we tend to convert wastes by feeding them into incense, such as the black soldier fly incense, to produce protein source alternatives for feed production, replacing certain expensive ingredients like fish meal and soybean meal. Second is our IntelliFeed 360 management system. The IntelliFeed 360 project is our smart management system designed to optimize livestock feeding and productivity. Using artificial intelligence and machine learning models, our technology gives real-time feed monitoring, tracks animal health status, makes predictive analytics on feed efficiency and growth rate, and then give a standard financial tracking result. It is an ecosystem that makes farming more smarter, leaner, and predictable. Third, our media program called the Farmers Insight. We connect farmers to expert knowledge through interviews, documentaries, and on-ground sessions. It is where research meets real life and stories leads to transformation. These pillars are not just programs, they are unified vision.
But how do all these give the expected solution to the lamentation of farmers in Nigeria and Africa? How does the answer to the imminent problem in livestock farming lie in insect?
We are not just experimenting with black soldier fly larvae, but we are getting into the science of the whole matter, because Africa has a challenge. 30% of most of its food products. But with the use of black soldier fly, we convert waste to wealth by allowing the maggot produced by the fly to feed on the organic waste, after which is harvested, and it has been proved that the maggot has up to 60% protein, which we will use to substitute more costly ingredients in feed animal feed foundation like fish meal and soybean meal, thereby reducing cost of feed manufacture. And of course, we're not just going to go into formulation without doing ingredient from profiling, and that's what we are doing in the institution, using the institutional laboratory to determine and evaluate the nutrient compositions of those raw ingredients which are going to be used in the formulation of those different feed for different animal production like fish, poultry, pig, and so on. So doing, we are trying to reduce issues of climate changes, whereby a lot of plant materials, animal materials, and others are posing emissions that are affecting our climate, like carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and so on. And by so doing, we are also making the environment cleaner than we made it, because we are reducing waste and turning back into well. That what we do at verify trading. In this lab, the Imo State University, the Food Science and Technology Laboratory, we are going to be doing the research analysis here, which entails the nutrient approximate compositions of the raw materials, the blends, the formulated feed. We're going to take care of that. We're also going to check the amino acid profile of all the ingredients and the blends of feed that we will formulate. We are also going to do animal trials, because we are going to check the effect of the feed on those animals that we have fed. Of course, we are also going to profile the amino acids and the protein levels in the larvae. So every ingredient that we are going to incorporate in the feed formulation must be analyzed, so that we know even the bioactive compounds, everything that is in the raw material, and what it gives into the feed, and what feed gives into the animal. Of course, we are going to be doing microbial analysis to ensure the safety of these raw materials and also the animals. And of course, we can go extra mile to do liver functions, renal functions, to ensure that the raw materials, the raw ingredients formulated into feed is safe for our internal organs. So these are some of the things we are going to be doing in this laboratory to ensure that we have feed that is safe, feed that will give us the nutritional achievements in the animals we are raising. That's what we do.
In every sample weighed and every nutrient mapped, the future of African livestock is being reshaped, not by guesswork, but by science.
To reduce the cost of feed. These are alternative feed sources, unconventional feed resources. You don't spend much money to get them, and they are organic and very wonderful. So the whole research is very successful, it will reduce cost of production of feed, and then poultry production and livestock will begin to blossom again, boom again, flourish in Nigeria again. Over the decades, livestock production, many people have folded their industries because of the high cost of nutrients, feedstuff required for animal production. Many have closed. Most poultry farms have shut down because they can't afford to purchase these conventional feed ingredients like maize, soya bean, fish meal, wheat of even palm kernel cake. They are very expensive in the market now, very expensive, because if you check I would say the FDA recommended about 54 to 63 grams of protein per day, of which 38 grams is to come from animal source. But in Nigeria today, people are not consuming up to 10 grams per day from poultry, from animal source, because of the high cost of animal meat. So with this program now, cost of feeding livestock will reduce. Many people moving to the market now. Then the price of meat products will drop. Price of egg will drop in the market because feed is now cheap. Production will rise. Price will not drop. And then so the benefit is now reduced cost of feed production. Secondly, more farmers will now move in to produce, our youth will be employed massively, because once there are industries, youth will be employed to work in those industries. Youth will be employed to work in those industries. And then protein intake will increase. You can now say standard of living has risen because Nigeria can now boast of, say, we are now consuming up to 30 grams of meat, of protein per day from meat sources, animal sources. So that is the part of the benefits of this program. That's why we are working hard now to ensure that we do this use this black soldier fly larvae to produce, and then also go to other sources too that will give us what we want to produce, that will finally reduce costs, spam, and then the industrialization will set in. Thank you very much.
The research doesn't end with formulation. Agrovestors' team is concerned about the food safety of the result produced.
Welcome to Agrovestors Farm-Tech. Today we have a very special person in our midst. Please, ma, do tell us your name.
Okay, I am Dr. Akilbechukwu James Tunezi. I am the lead veterinary researcher in Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Please do tell us what trials you've conducted so far.
At Agrovestors Farm-Tech, we conduct controlled trials using our BSF, that is the black soldier fly larvae, in formulating our feed, and it's across 3 livestock, that is the catfish, the poultry, and the pigs. Each diet plan that is made with the BSF larvae is tailored towards each of these animals, that's the catfish, the broiler, and the pigs, and we use it against the soya bean and the fish meal. This is to cut cost, because this larvae is a protein, is nutritious, is a protein diet. So soybean and fish meal are conventional protein that we have in the market. This trial spans from the starter to the finish stage, and we have been able to understand what we want to achieve here, because it helps us to cut costs, reduce mortality, increase growth rate, weight gain, and growth. Thank you.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. So what are the health outcomes you have been seeing so far?
So far it has been promising. It has been really been a positive one. In the case of the pigs, we've noticed improves their coat condition, and it's also digestible. In the fish, we've also noticed that there is low fecal waste and palatable. So our feed is not just nutritious, it is delicious. Yes.
All right, so how does it help in food safety?
Okay. Generally, food safety is when the feed is safe for consumption, both human and animal consumption. So our feed is produced in an environmentally conditions, like environment. The environment is okay, is conducive, and the drying, we have a good drying protocol that will help combat microbial activities or microbial threats. So when the feed is healthy, so the byproduct, which is the fish, the meat, the eggs, are healthier. So we don't have any cause for alarm, because our feed is okay.
All right, thank you very much for your time, doctor. We actually do appreciate it.
Science at Agrovestors doesn't stop at discovery. It advances through evidence. From BSF biology to animal immunity, every layer is tested, measured, and proven. Meet the team behind the technology, those building the digital backbone of Africa's next-gen in farms.
Good day, everyone. My name is Joseph Ogakru, Lead Systems Engineer for the IntelliFeed 360 project at Agrovestors Farm-Tech. IntelliFeed 360 is our smart feed management system, a blend of AI, IoT, and real-time analytics designed specifically for livestock feed optimization in African climates. What makes IntelliFeed 360 different is this: predictive intelligence. Our system doesn't just monitor, it learns. It understands feed intake patterns, adjusts nutritional formulations, and flags health risks before they escalate. For example, if a pig's feeding rate drops,
IntelliFeed 360 automatically adjusts the feed texture and density. That's how we close the loop between formulations and animal well-being. In the field, we integrate low-cost sensors, temperature, humidity, and weight trackers into pens, ponds, and coops. These sensors stream data to our cloud platform. Farmers receive alerts and smart suggestions directly to their phones via the IntelliFeed app. For instance, the system might say, "Hey, moisture levels in feed batch C are low," or "broilers in unit 3 show signs of heat stress, adjust ventilation." And since many farms operate in low bandwidth zones, we designed offline caching with smart synchronization. This is African made for African conditions. Now, let me tell you about our long-term vision. At Agrovestors Farm-Tech, we aim to create a digital twin of every smallholder farm, a virtual reflection of what's happening on the ground. This lets farmers simulate feed plans, forecast productivity, and reduce costs all before acting. We believe that IntelliFeed 360 will become the central nervous system of livestock farms across Africa, fueling data-driven decisions and connecting farmers into a wider ecosystem of knowledge. This isn't just about technology. It's about empowering farmers to not just survive, but thrive. It fully depends on us, however, whether to destroy this beautiful creation or to join forces with the Agrovestors Farm-Tech to combat and eliminate hunger, poverty, and diseases for a happy and prosperous world. Thank you.
But in all these, we know that bridging this gap requires more than technology. It requires a voice, a mirror, a platform where farmers could be seen, heard, and empowered. It requires the farmer's insight.
So my name is Augustine Chibueze Ibechukwu, and I'm the head of the media in Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd. So one of our flagship projects in Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd is the Farmers Insight, to enlighten farmers who have been left behind, farmers who have now lack information to use to propagate their farms now. So nowadays, what we need now, what we need to do is to sensitize these farmers to, like they say, ignorance is a disease. When you lack information, you lack the capacity to do what you ought to do in any sphere, in any area, to start working again by providing solution to the problems which they have. With the Farmers Insight, we are going to be conducting interviews. We are going to be doing documentaries to interview these farmers, ask them questions, know what actually their problems are, from setting up the farms to equipment to the feed which they will use to feed their livestock itself. So we are trying to know the problems which these farmers face, know these problems, interact with them, know what their problems are, and help them to proffer solutions to those problems, especially in the aspect of the feed solutions. So because the feed Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd is trying to make is going to be affordable, I'm sure it will go a very long way to solve the problems of these farmers and take them back to business and bring them back into business in agriculture. Thank you.
Fly, we also give a room of what we call the organic fertilizer by day after breaking down the waste. So they will produce what we call frass. This frass is very nutritious in terms of nitrogen oxide that you see. And for now, you can bear with me, even the food security departments and the health departments are talking about the adverse effects of this synthetic fertilizer that are being used. So we intend to go organic instead of synthetic. So introducing the need. That is why we're working with the food science and check. And yes, so the crop production, by the time we start, we are looking at the research also to bring out hybrid crops that intend to just to use a shorter timeline to produce and produce massively. Yeah, so we are going on 100% research exactly. And in terms of the food security, with the food science department, we intend to discuss extensively and to find a way that we can use to preserve the value and the nutritional value of food we take. From the post-harvest losses that we see, that almost 50% of what we get every year are lost. So because of poor preservation system. So but we tend to address that also in this project, and we are working with the food science. And not just that, if you go to the leaf, you see how the market, how they market us, they sell foods, they expose you to all manner of chemical reactions and even incense that are disease carriers and fly speech that those things are unhealthy. So we also tend to address the need for preservation of food and the quality of food, and we tend to introduce it in this project. Of course, we are working, and I don't want to bore you with that because it is really extensive in that. So that is the trace transformation angle in the food system, the research and food system. So we are doing 100% research and production is in that.
So, sorry, if I may ask, I hope what you're into has nothing to do with GMOs.
No, it has nothing to do with GMOs because we are doing organic, yes, instead of the GMOs. However, there is also need for us to, of course, what we see now is hybrid foods. Yeah. And majorly what we consume is a hybrid food, but we tend also to make sure that we carry out a very good research carefully, 100% up to NAFDAC level, and also up to international accepted level. Yes, so with the universities and research institutions. So we have already started with Imo State University, and we are extending further. So to make sure that is purely organic and it is healthy for human consumption and for animal consumption also.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. First of all, like I said, you were not here on Thursday last week when we came and met him up in our other office. Yeah, so she brought us here to where we saw the studio inside there, and I would say we were amazed that Imo State University has something like this. Like I said, we schooled here, and when we were here, we never saw anything like this. So coming here on Thursday and seeing that radio studio, I was shocked.
So when did you graduate?
I left 2023. Yes.
You were off
You're offline then.
Yeah. This place started in 2016.
This
It worked
place.
it worked for 3 years, and then we had issues and went off
Are you sure about it?
for some years. Thank God we are back.
We're back again. And I mean, it only means one thing, that those in charge now are capable hands that are handling this place and keeping it running. So, like I said, I'm the head of media in Agrovestors Farm-Tech Ltd. So, what we intend to do exactly is, when we saw the radio station, we were very interested in running a program there on that radio. So we told them, we discussed it with mom, and then she said we're going to come today. So we intend to start a program that we call the Student Innovation Hub through the Farmers Insight. Farmers Insight is our media outlet. Yes. So we can start this Student Innovation Hub on this radio. Student Innovation Hub. This Student Innovation Hub, I'll break it down. Currently now, students and the projects they do are not really focused on being creative. They're not innovative. They're not thinking outside the box in their projects. Projects now, if you can agree with me, mommy, you know that what we do now is just copy and pasting our projects. People are not thinking. People are not being creative as to what they want to put out, how to help, how to solve problems and issues. So this is a way of sensitization, a way of creating awareness for students in particular. We've already started, not just in Imo State University here, and other universities in Imo State and across Imo State. You understand? So we want these students to know that there is a platform that we are creating. We want to bring students into this platform to make them active, to know that, oh, this is a place that is, once you do something, and the other students that are willing to listen and know that, okay, this is a place where we can come. If I do something, I can come here and share my ideas to people. I show them that I'm doing something like this. I have found out something like this. People can now reach out to you and say, okay, please break this thing down for us. Yes, and the findings will be made use of. These are IP now, intellectual property.
You can even say, or you say, you know that these are things that can give a person millions and billions of naira, depending on how we use it well. So this is our idea, that this Student Innovation Hub is going to create this awareness and sensitization to students, so that they can start doing something more innovative, which will be helpful to them and also helpful to us. Not just like our focus is research-based departments, like we said, we've met with the animal science department, met with food science department. Not just these students are just waiting for people to come to them with this thing. So we have found out a kind of a gray area that we need to tap into and utilize and make use of it. So that's for the students, the Students Innovation Hub now. And then also we also intend to bring in authorities in the field of agriculture, people in the academia, or people that are into agriculture, out of the experience, they can say one or two things and tell you that this is
only those in the academy,
this is what you have to do.
the other, is it not to bring them in exactly?
So we need to also bring them in, discuss with them, maybe if not just on radio, we can also have a one-on-one discussion where we use our media, because we have media equipment, both cameras, video cameras, microphones, and all those. You can sit one-on-one with them, discuss with them, and cover and make a video coverage of all these things, and then we put it out there too, both on radio and outside the radio. These are our plans.
We unite voices and join strength together. They once felt unheard, through farmers' insights have being seen. United and empowered, the goal isn't just to grow food, it's to grow a future powered by people, by science, and by the will to transform Africa's agricultural destiny. Real change doesn't come from speech, it comes from systems. It comes from farmers, it comes from all of us.
Join us, grow with us, change everything. Together we can revolutionize agriculture in Africa and beyond. Together we are Agrovestors Farm-Tech. Together we are investing the future.